We're here with members of the Wheaton College baseball team following their 5-3 victory over Mitchell College in the championship game of the 2023 New London Regional.
From left to right, we have senior shortstop Kevin Brady, head coach Eric Podbelski, and senior relief pitcher Zach Nichols. First question, Eric, or Coach Podbelski. Obviously, you lose that game to Mitchell yesterday. You have to come through, beat Husson, and then defeat Mitchell twice. Can you talk a little bit about the perseverance of your team to come away with the victory in that second game and the first game today?
Yeah, well, we experienced this not too long ago in our own conference tournament, right? Where losing that, you win that first game and then you lose that morning game, and that's difficult because that's a tough turnaround, and you go from feeling great, all of a sudden you're on the verge of having your season end, and it's a tough one. And then the team coming out of that bracket has had a little, and it's just like everything equalizes, right? And in my experience, that's a tough one, right? Is right there, is getting the guys emotionally back into the right place to play a team that is good and not have a letdown early and create a hole you can't dig out of. And our guys did it in our conference tournament against MIT, and were able to do it against Husson, and Husson gave us everything we could possibly handle. They threw every pitcher they had at us, and that was a tough game, and came through, got it, and then it's like, okay, now you won one, and now you start to feel a little bit better about yourselves, and you get to the next day, and you just take it a pitch, an inning, a game at a time, and you don't worry about what's going to happen in the second game. You got to take care of the first game, and we're able to do that. And Mitchell, without question, the toughest and most competitive team we have played all year, and took everything we had and took like stepping outside ourselves type performances from a lot of our guys, to squeak out of there with a couple wins.
Coach, having just gone through this scenario as you described in the conference tournament last week, could you tell that your guys had a bit of that no-quit attitude and knew they weren't out of it despite the fact you suffered one of those early losses? Was that palpable and evident within the dugout?
Yeah, well, I've never ever worry about the resilience of our team. Every time this year where we've had a setback, they've had an answer and they've responded in a big way. So that was never the question. I felt like Mitchell played more confidently than we did yesterday. They did a great job in 2-out, 2-strike situations. We had them on the ropes twice, and twice they wouldn't go down. And they put up crooked numbers there late in 2 innings. And that was a key today, is that, I felt like we played much more confidently, and no matter what happened, you felt like our guys were going to have an answer and going to find a way a little bit more. And, ended up helping us out.
In the conference tournament, in the new MAC tournament, you had the same situation as we talked about prior, where you had to come back and beat Babson twice. But what you didn't have was a rainout in between. Today, you didn't have Jackson Walsh go 6 innings and go as deep as you might have liked. Can you talk about how that rainout could have helped you get to McCarroll today? Was this his regular bullpen day today?
Yeah, this would have been his bullpen on a 5-day rest cycle. So yes. I don't know. That first day we didn't use Zach, so it really didn't affect that one way or the other. We didn't use Jackson in that first game or anything like that, but it definitely gave us an opportunity to have McCarroll throw. But works both ways, right? They could bring Solomon back there to get a big out late, and Daly, through that first game against Tufts, then got an extra rest day there, and so he was available, and he's tough.
Sure. So. Question for Kevin Brady and Zach Nichols. This is the 3rd straight NCAA regional that you all have been in. You're seniors now. How much did the experience of being in 2 prior NCAA regionals help you prepare for this regional? Kevin first.
Being there definitely helps, just getting your feet wet and being in the game. And like Coach says, we have all our guys out there. that have some experience too, and we're just ready to take care of business and go.
Zach?
Yeah, for me, this was my first one that I got a chance to pitch in, and really it was just watching the guys before me that have graduated and just seeing how they handle themselves, and just trying to be. I've looked up to them for the past couple of years, and just trying to be the best version of myself, and continue to remember what they did and what made them so good. So,
Gavin, in the opening game against Husson, you had 4 hits. Yesterday, the bat kind of cooled off just a little bit, and it seemed like the air wasn't helping the hitters. You know, hit a ball right on the screws, looked like it was ticketed for over the fence, and just nothing was leaving the ballpark yesterday. But your defense was, and the team as a whole, really kept Wheaton alive. And if you don't make that diving stop at the end of the game against Husson, you're probably not sitting here right now. Can you talk about the importance of your defense yesterday?
I mean, defense wins championships. It's a saying for a reason. So, yeah, looking back at that play, just trying to keep the ball in the infield, always bellies up, 2 outs, and just trying to do everything we could to keep the ball in the infield and make a play. So glad we did.
And Zach, can you talk a little bit about yesterday? Uncharacteristically, the bullpen didn't perform as well as it has during the season, but then today, the first game, the bullpen combines for 7 innings, only allows 1 run, and then today, obviously, McCarroll and yourself come in and pretty much shut the door down. Obviously, Fisher as well. Can you talk about coach's confidence in the bullpen, even after maybe a rough outing, and your ability to come back and kind of close it out today?
you know, the good thing about being a reliever is that if you have a bad outing, you know that you're going to get another outing very soon, and you just have to scratch it and just, you know, have confidence in yourself and just know that, you know, that obviously that we've had success in the past, and just one bad game doesn't mean that we can have success in the future. So it's really just as like a whole staff, we just have, you know, complete confidence in ourselves, and just know that, you know, you have a bad outing, that you're going to get another opportunity, and can just have confidence in that. So.
Coach, obviously the season's not over yet. You go to Johns Hopkins for the Super Regional. Can you talk a little bit about this team and the season that they've had up to this point?
It's been successful. You know, I don't really know what I think that's. Like I said, when, you know, early on we won a game, like we're coming right out of the beginning of the season, we won a game, then we lost a game, and they responded right away with, you know, a great game. And then we went on our Florida trip and we lost to Co. And, you know, at that point you don't know how it's all going to turn out. You don't know, you know, who you are really yet as a team, because you haven't been through it. And the one thing that stood out early was the way they would respond after a setback. And you know, after that co-loss, you know, we responded big the next day, and then the next day, and then we started to get on a little bit of a roll, and I feel like we came back from Florida feeling like, okay, you know, maybe we didn't know exactly what we had here or how it was all going to look, but we had a chance to be successful, and the confidence built, and guys settled into roles. You know, whether it be in the pitching staff or in the bullpen or in the lineup or in the field defensively, and tweaked a few things here and there along the way, but for the most part, you know, we just rolled out those guys that started to show they were ready for it and they could handle it, and that we were a different looking team, but just as successful as some previous teams.
And it seems like your depth has really shown through, whether it's been the lineup, inserting different guys in that right field DH spot and first base now, and then throughout the pitching as well. You know, it just seems like you've really had guys step up and just kind of prove just how deep this team actually is.
You talked to the guys about this a lot. This year's been a lot of guys earning opportunities that maybe had to wait their turn a little bit, and the way a couple years went where you had COVID, and these guys, you know, their freshman year barely even happened, right? I mean, before we could even find an opportunity to give them an inning or to give them an at-bat or something like that, the season's over. And then their sophomore years, we're playing doubleheaders on weekends, and their conference right away. There's no non-conference 15 games to kind of see what's what. you know, we're right into conference, and it was really go with what you know. And, you know, and so these guys, once they did earn those opportunities and those opportunities were available, they ran with them. And again, showing that sometimes all you need is a chance.
Mike, you have anything else?
I think I'm all set.
Congratulations on the victory, and it's on to Johns Hopkins in the Super Regionals. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.